So happy to have such a refreshed audience in front of me. And I'm here to tell you about the opportunities we have to offer to all of you to get started or keep going with IoT in Helsinki, and explain some of the reasons why Helsinki is really the city to develop your future-proof smart city solutions with. I come from Virium Helsinki. We are a city-owned innovation unit, not for profit, working here in Helsinki to help Helsinki on its mission to be the most functional city in the world, which is the city's rather new strategy. And how we are helping the city is by bringing together different players, companies like yourselves, the citizens, different public sector and research players, and of course the city of Helsinki. We've been around since 2005. We have 3 different focus areas, IoT, which I'm leading, Smart Kalasatama, which is here nearby, the famous smart city district of Helsinki, and Smart Mobility, the home of mobility as a service, robot buses, and so forth. We are approximately 50 people currently. I'm here together with my team, and we actually have a stand in the IoT lab. And you are welcome to come and meet the rest of our experts there. So what we actually do, our main means of working and the main resources for working on these topics come from various EU-funded projects. And we are really there to co-create, pilot, and experiment on different urban futures together. And some of our achievements, we've been helping Helsinki to make its data a public resource through opening up its data. We've been helping to turn Kalasatama into the smart district that it is today. And we have been bringing and will still bring more of robot buses and robot bus fleets to the streets of Helsinki. We are there to collaborate with all companies, but certain companies have a special role as member companies, and we have quite a good selection of different players, key companies, national broadcasting, and like YLE, and various public sector research players as well. And we are leveraging various networks, such as the Finnish Finnish Center for Artificial Intelligence, the Open Living Labs network, and EIT Digital, to mention a few. So far, I think we have something to be very proud of here in Helsinki. We've been ranking quite high in various rankings on the smart city domain. We've been receiving quite a lot of media attention from various national and international publications. And of course, one thing why Helsinki, if you at least look in the European context, is a very interesting place to get started with smart city solutions is that it is one of the fastest growing capital cities in Europe. And we have various development areas where we are very eager to work with all of you on the future solutions. But even though Helsinki is the place for getting started with developing these future smart city solutions, we still believe that we are not enough alone. And that's why we've been working on the digital single market together with other cities already since 2012, where we've been starting the API harmonization on the City SDK project with 8 European cities. And we've followed this path of harmonizing and strengthening the city service market ever since, with various projects as well as through networks like Open and Agile Smart Cities, which is a city network of city networks of more than 100 cities already. And it's cutting out a little bit. I'm proud to tell also that we're not just working with the further colleagues in other cities across Europe, but we've also just recently got a big funding for tightening our collaboration with Tallinn. So really going for this Helsinki idea through this Finest Twins project, where we are actually also not just strengthening and the collaboration and sharing best practices, but we are actually working on this urban open platform that will help to utilize data and different IoT-enabled services across these 2 cities. So keep an eye on that. And we have not just the strategy backing up, but also the mayor, Jan Vapaavuori, who is very much behind this same agenda to utilize new technologies for the benefit of the citizens and really make sure that Helsinki is one of the leading cities in, for example, in open data and how it's being utilized across different players in the city. So closer to the IoT topic and how we are bringing ease to getting started with IoT. Some of the concrete tools and help we are offering to all of you, so anybody interested in utilizing it, will be presented soon. What we are there to do is to develop the new means for collecting data in smart cities so that we actually have the kind of data that the future services will be needing. We are also testing software, different kind of devices and sensors together with cities and companies. We are promoting the building of an open modular IoT platform and data platform. And we provide connectivity opportunities for proof of concepts. We do various kind of real-time data collection experiments about people flows, how many people are in certain public parks, how can we collect better data on the maintenance vehicles in the city, and so forth. And some of the biggest achievements so far is our IoT Hack Lab, which I will be telling briefly about a bit more in detail, as well as the IoT platforms in our pre-commercial procurement of IoT platforms, where we, for example, have the capabilities of consent management of personal data, as well as the harmonized IoT APIs that I already mentioned. Our means for working on this come from 11 different projects. I won't go in detail to all of those, but they vary from data collection experiments to platform development and harmonization work. We have a team of 11 experts and project managers, and we have approximately 5 million euros for the upcoming 3 years. And we have more than 100 European partners through these projects, so I think we are quite well networked, to say the least. Some of the tools that I promised to introduce to you are, for example, the technology directory, where you can see all the openly licensed assets, such as data, APIs. There's reference implementations to these APIs, specifications, and so forth, as well as a link to Helsinki's API that is actually implementing that specification. We have also open source software components there for anybody to reuse and further collaborate with us on. And we have information on our support services, so this Vekotinverstas gadget workshop, as well as on the connectivity and networks that we offer for proof of concepts. So Vekotinverstas is a low-threshold environment for IoT experimentations. There's for businesses opportunities to bring their technologies and introduce those to the community. We've been working, for example, with Etteplan on these manners. And we run different kind of workshops to make sure that the city ecosystem knows what they can do with all these new technologies, so they have better competence for the future. Then we have funding, and unfortunately this 800,000 euros is not available currently, but I will tell a bit about how we've been running such a funding round. So we've had a pre-commercial procurement of an Internet of Everything platform run together with Copenhagen and Antwerp. And here's some of the requirements. So of course it has to be very easy to use platform so that also the citizens can create different kind of dashboards, notifications, and so forth. But it has to be top-notch platform for developers to easily access APIs and data, as well as for the city experts to create different kind of analysis for the support of urban planning or counting traffic flows and so forth. So quite demanding task for a platform that then needs to also be open source, distributed and decoupled, and offer various interoperability aspects. Where we are now with this funding round and this process is that we are stepping into the living lab stage. So we've moved from various companies offering their concepts for such platforms, then to actually running their demos, and now we have 3 companies that are a consortium of companies that are coming to Helsinki to test these platforms. And if you are interested in checking out those platforms, how far we've gotten, please reach out to Tiina Inki in my team or come and leave your contact information to the stand. There are three of these solutions being tested in Jätkäsaari, and the main case is air quality and how that can be better used by the citizens and as well as companies and the city. Then we have smaller funding instruments in our hands where we are, for example, been supporting scaling of existing pre-tested IoT solutions. And they are starting now just this summer. There are 4 solutions coming to Helsinki. And they vary from this chatbot for event information, utilizing the city bike data and the availability of city bikes, as well as different air quality related and bicycle route planning solutions as well. Also about these solutions, we are happy to tell you more about at our stand. So these were some of the experiments that we've run so far. How can you actually leverage the support that we are offering? And of course, like I mentioned, the technology catalog and the Vekotinverstas Hack Lab is all there for you to utilize. But funding-wise, we have a call open now for AR, VR, or mixed reality solutions utilizing the opportunities that 5G will be offering to them. And the value for single pilot is 8,000 euros. There's time to apply till April 19th. And we have Eero Jalo from my team at the stand who will be very glad to tell you more in detail about it. But it's really about the exploring the possibilities 5G can offer to these solutions through the ability to transmit large amounts of data in real time. And if you are interested in making sure you're not missing out the upcoming possible 100,000 euro funding that we will most likely have still this autumn, please follow our website and the section where there are open calls and experiments and pilot experiments. So a little bit still in the end about some of the topics we are now working on, and we are really eager to collaborate on with all of you. One of the aspects is this building automation data and smart grid related data. And we are quite happy that the city of Helsinki has been quite forward-looking, and they added in the plot assignment stipulations, there's a request for having an API to the building automation data. And therefore, we have very accurate data about the real-time energy and water, as well as waste consumption in Kalasatama area. And we are really hoping to see that what kind of new services this data can now help us create. Maybe something for elderly care, checking if your grandmother has turned on the routinely coffee machine when they usually do, or helping to cut down on your greenhouse gases and get your carbon footprint smaller. Ideas, we are really open to hear all the ideas you might have for such data. And of course, this data is personal, and knowing the restrictions coming from GDPR, any data, any of IoT or sensor data that can be linked to an address or through an address to an individual is seen as personal data. And this has been really serving as a great challenge for us, that how do we create an ecosystem where also this kind of data can, through consent of the individual, be leveraged in new services. And we are there to move forward with the My Data vision. So the idea where the individuals really have control over their data, and they can then see if there are some services that they feel that create such great value to them that they would even like to have them access their personal data. And we believe that this fosters also a healthier ecosystem for businesses to find new roles in the data ecosystem and really build the services that our citizens will need in the future. Another topic that is coming up is citizens as data sources. We kicked off 2 weeks ago ilmanlaatujoukot, so kind of the air quality troops, so that we are looking for more than 300 people to join us and become a data source for air quality data. And this is possible thanks to the, of course, low-cost sensors that cannot maybe compete in data quality with the solutions that Vaisala, who is also partner in this project. But when we have a bigger amount and we have mobile sensors tracking different paths and routes in the city, that we can actually provide valuable data, nevertheless, even if the quality sometimes is lower. So we have now 290 people who have already registered, but if you are interested in this or if you feel your company could promote this opportunity, please do so. And if you're interested in utilizing this data that will be collected through this experiment, please let us know as well. So with the quality of data being mentioned, one thing that we are busy now looking at with our data scientists is that how do we actually respond with the data we are collecting to the needs of different algorithms and machine learning and artificial intelligence creates to us. So if we are collecting garbage in and we don't have enough of the metadata for the data we are collecting, we might lose the value of the data. But at the same time, we see that with the machine learning and the algorithms, we can also improve the quality of data and realize when our low-cost sensor starts being in the end of its age, so that we have to go and renew it, or we have to go calibrate it again, or whatnot. Then there are many new ways of collecting data, like computer vision is offering us, so that we can actually count people flows, amounts of cars, check where the parking spots are available, and so forth. And we have already quite some pilots on this. And in the smart city context, we are of course aiming at not just looking at how things are now, but we are looking at how can we prescribe things and start to actually have an impact, so that before the air quality gets bad, we can already guide cars or vehicles to other route, for example, and so forth. But in the city context, when we are starting to introduce these new algorithms, we have to, of course, make sure that it's done in a transparent and the design guidelines are created beforehand. And that's something that Helsinki is collaborating with various other international cities on. And we are also part of this AI for EU, where we are creating a European-level AI platform together with almost 80 partners. So that's something that we are really excited to maybe next year share the results of. One concrete example where AI is already present in our project is this work we do with Fordec and their smart thermostats, and how their algorithm helps us to cut down the emissions of different housing companies, for example. And we are looking at even 15% of cut in energy consumption. And if you think of the amount of buildings that City of Helsinki owns and that are in the city size of Helsinki, you can imagine the amount of emission cuts that we can enable through these kind of solutions. So to start summing it up, we really are here to aim for data-enabled, not data-driven, smart cities where data, whether it's open, closed, or shared, can create value both for us as individuals, but also at society at large. I guess this links well to the first presentation this morning. To achieve this, we are really here in events like this, and through the work we do, we are there to collaborate with all the key players in Finland and across Europe. And we really bring ease to using the city as a platform through data, APIs, open source code, funding, connectivity offering, and support. So how can we help you to create future city services in Helsinki? How can we shape future cities together? Please come and talk about this topic at our stand there at the IoT Lab. Thank you.